Hello everyone, this is Mrs. Howard, and as you can see, today we're going to talk a little bit about a Post-it note app that I use for word sorts. So I'm going to wait for people to arrive. I am Mrs. Howard. I'm a 6th grade teacher and a new member of Teacher Tribe, and I'm really excited about all the things that I've been learning with all of my Teacher Tribe friends and doing my best to share as much as I can. And today's topic is word sorts. Now, I don't know how many people out there are using word sorts in their classroom, but it said that word sorts can help in so many different ways. You can do a concept sort if you're doing a new content area, maybe in science class. You could do vocabulary word sorts if you're preparing for a new unit, just to kind of pre-test students on information they know. But a lot of teachers, even in the lower levels, use word sorts with their students. And for years, I've been doing a Words Their Way word sort. And for years I've been doing those in the classroom, and my students will cut out their word slips. They sort them into categories. I teach 6th grade. So today we were doing X, non, in, and for as our prefix categories. And what I discovered is sometimes it's time consuming. Sometimes the kids just get bored with cutting. They're 11, they're 10. They've already mastered the skill of cutting and they get a little frustrated. So I put my tech brain to it and I came up with a really cool way to save paper, to save all of the cutting, and yet still retain the benefit of doing a word sort. And so what I realized is that you could try this with pretty much any content area or any topic. And the way I'm going to show you how to do this is using an app called Post-it Plus. Now it's on the iPad and it is a free app, but it's super cool, especially if you are someone that uses a lot of Post-it notes for things. Is anybody someone who uses Post-its as like exit slips in class, or has students put them on the wall and an exit slip strategy on the way out the door? This app can also help you with that. It's a free app, and I'm not paying any sponsorship for sharing it, but I discovered it and loved it. Again, the app is called Post-it. So I'm going to actually show you how the Post-it app works to help you, instead of cutting out word slips, it'll help you actually take an image of those word slips, sort those word slips. And I think once you see it, you'll realize that you could probably apply this to so many different things in your classroom. This one simple, cute little app called Post-it. So I'm going to turn it around here, show you on my iPad. All right, this is the app. It's called Post-it. It's kind of funny, the first time I looked this up today, just getting ready, I searched for it and up came a picture of possum. So we're not looking for possum today, we're looking for the Post-it note app. So this is my antique iPad. Some days it works, some days it doesn't. All right, so when you open the Post-it Plus app, you're going to see a series of boards that you can use. Now these are the ones I've already created. I'm going to create a new board. And what it does is it opens the camera tool. Now, if you were using this and you had a bunch of Post-it notes on maybe an exit board in your classroom, you could take a snapshot of that. It would allow you to sort and organize all of those Post-its, which I think is a pretty cool feature. Now, in this case, I'm going to try it with my word slips. It's going to be very difficult to get this to line up so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to try. So here we have a bunch of word slips, and I'm holding my iPad over my piece of paper, which I showed you before, just a piece of paper. And my objective is I'm going to get this piece of paper into a sortable set of word slips in the Post-it Plus app. So I'm going to give it a snap, and I hold it down, and it takes a snapshot of it. Now what it's asking me, it does tell me it can't recognize. It says no Post-it notes were found. It is designed for Post-its, and had these been actually the 3x3 Post-it notes, it would have said, I found the Post-it notes and we can split them apart and sort them. But there's one little thing you can do here, is if I start tapping on the different slips, it's pretty smart, and it recognizes that each of the slips has kind of a distinct border. And if I tap on that, I can start capturing each of these elements. Can't you see kids doing this? I can actually see my kids really loving this. Instead of cutting them out, we're virtually cutting them out. So I'm creating basically a page. I gotta get nonsense in there. Of course, nonsense gives me some nonsense. Incomplete. It's a little stretching, but is this really that much different than the kids cutting? I think it's actually probably a little bit faster. And I'll be honest, I think because I'm at a bad angle with you guys today, it's not giving me the nicest borders, but I'm still able to stretch and adjust them. And for the sake of time, guys, I probably won't go through the whole page, but let's do enough so you can get an idea of what the sort's going to end up looking like. Form. We'll do 3 more nonfiction. And I'm not even being that exact, and it really doesn't make that big of a difference. So let me show you. I've got enough words. I've got 9 words we can work with. Okay, so I'm going to create my board. I've got these green outline slips that are now able to be sorted, so I'm going to create my board. It drops them all onto a board. Now what the students would do is they can take their categories. If they need to, they can move them around, but it also allows you to move the slips into the locations that they go. Isn't that cool? I was just in love with this app when I found it. I thought it was a simple solution to a lot of paper, a lot of scraps all over my classroom floor, a great way to integrate technology, especially if you're trying to go paperless. This is like the solution to paperless when it comes to these word sorts. And a lot of teachers will do concept sorts in their classroom. I know if I'm doing a novel or for pre-reading or something like that, I might kind of formatively assess what they know about the vocabulary before we read. And you can see how easy. I'm just tapping and sliding. So I can really put these in any order, in any way I want them. And if you're just joining, this is called the Post-it Plus app. It's a free app. Now, there's 2 ways that I have my students turn these in. The best way is to print, but of course I'm not hooked up to a bubble printer at school, so I'm really not able to do that. This also saves it. You can export your board or share your board. Okay, so you could email it. You could save it to your camera roll. And if you choose export board, it gives you a couple options. You can turn it into a PowerPoint. You could save it as a PDF file. What I have my students do, I'm going to cancel. I have mine save it to their camera roll. And we used to use Edmodo, but this year I'm using Google Classroom. So I have my students submit their work through Google Classroom, and they simply just attach the sorted words on their Google Classroom assignment. So it's, come back, sorry about that. Yikes, I dropped you. So it's kind of a neat strategy for any kind of word sort. It'll save you a lot of time, a lot of cutting, a lot of paper. I can even see this being used, perhaps you are cutting up little note cards or filling out a lot of little note cards. Do it once. Distribute iPads. Those iPads will have the slips that need to be sorted by students. So I think it's kind of a neat way to integrate tech into word sorting strategies. So my name is Mrs. Howard, 118, if you'd like to follow me. And I hope everybody had a great Tuesday, and I hope to see y'all soon. Thanks for watching.